Hi, welcome to Reaper Live.
And this week we have Rhonda Bender as our special guest.
Hi.
Tonight, Reaper Live.
And on a serious note, these two guys are going to tell us about what happened with Bacon at the emergency room. I can't wait. Tune in.
Hi, I'm Ron Hawkins, art director here at Reaper Miniatures.
I'm Ed Pugh, president here at Reaper Miniatures.
And welcome to Reaper Live, the show where we blend painting, gaming, and geek culture all together for your viewing pleasure. We're joined today by Justin Elliott, our technical director, Michael Collins, our producer.
And this week we have a special guest, Rhonda Bender.
Yay!
Hi, I'm Rhonda Bender.
So,
she's famous.
Yeah, she is famous. Hall of Fame painter, Rhonda
Yes.
Bender. Gold medal winning painter.
This is that gold side of the table.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Rhonda Bender. And Rhonda, thanks for coming by the Reaper Studios.
Well, thanks for having me.
What brings you this way?
Every now and then
He's
I
setting
do
you
a
up
lot
for
of
that.
work for you guys, so I like to come visit and check in.
I'm glad you showed up. Thanks for popping in just randomly out of the blue. So here at Reaper Live, what we do is we like to talk about a lot of stuff, and we paint as we're doing that.
Yes.
You ever paint a figure before?
Yes.
Once or twice.
Okay.
I mean, I've been watching the show, so I've been trying to practice painting so I can
Good.
maintain the
Been
standards that
leveling
you
up.
have set.
That's great. Okay, so
We're painting ogres, right?
well, I'm going to paint ogres.
Not we, him.
Just Ron can paint
Yeah,
ogres.
yeah.
Okay.
That's just reserved
I won't
for me.
paint ogres.
So on that note, let's talk about what we're going to paint. Ed, what are you working on today?
I'm working on, from last month, Tau for Justin so he can finally,
Get his kill team going.
yes, get and not be disgraced.
Okay. All right. And Rhonda, what are you working on?
I'm
Oops.
working
Okay.
on Anushka, and she has a friend, Bo the sheep.
There you go. Anushka, sculpted by Jen Haley.
Yes.
Jen Haley is a brilliant painter,
And
an
sculptor.
amazing painter. It turns out she can sculpt too. So, and this was actually, I believe, Ann Forrester's.
Anne
WoW
Forrester
character?
modeled so Jen could get the pose.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
For some reason, I thought this was one of Ann's characters, but not so much. She
No,
just
I
kinda posed for it.
asked Jen just to double
Okay,
check.
gotcha.
And she
All
said that Anne was the model.
Okay. Cool. So you're going to paint that.
Yes.
All right. Well, with that, let's get started.
Well,
painting.
no. What are you going to paint, Ron?
I don't know. I thought I'd try something
I'll
different.
just leave the sheep there.
Maybe into ogre's armor today.
Oh.
See, not
You
just
can
the
help
ogre.
put Ron
The
out of that
ogres.
figure out of its misery if you finished it
Ogre
during the
armor.
show.
Yeah, if you'll help me out with it, we can call it wrapped up.
Oh, I don't
With
think I
that-
picked any ogre colors.
Uh,
I know you have special
You know
ogre
what?
colors
We're
now.
working on armor today, so
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna see if I can see what we do. So with that, let's paint.
All right,
All
let's
right.
do
Well, it
it.
looks like you've already started. Okay.
We have a tradition.
We
here.
wait for your cue to paint, Ron.
Oh,
My
okay.
goodness,
Talk all
I'm
about
a
me.
painter. I
Let's-
paint.
Let's paint. How about that? Ready and go. Let's
Okay.
paint. All right.
We have a tradition here.
What's that?
Tradition.
Whatever.
6 episodes.
Six.
Or whatever episode we're on. 16. I don't know which episode we're on.
Matt, you are the art director, not the math director.
Yeah, we could call it that. Ed's the CPA. He knows the numbers.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, you need to give everybody an explanation. How did you get into this hobby? That is one thing everybody asks on the show.
Okay, well,
Get comfortable. Here we
there's
go.
a long version and a short version of the story. So the longer version is like everyone else I've seen you ask so far. I did get into playing Dungeons and Dragons. I think I was 12. My dad got me the red box set from Sears, and I was really excited. And I read all the books, and I got some of my friends to play, and they weren't really excited. And then
Was it because you were the DM?
I think they just, as a concept, they
Don't
went.
just interrupt their brain.
I am a
hard
terrible DM.
I had a hard time
100%.
wrapping my brain
I'm
around it at
a
first,
terrible
too, yeah.
DM.
Were you a kid at the time? Or
I was
a
12.
teen? Okay.
Yeah,
all
12, 13.
About the same time, everyone sort of
Yeah.
puberty and D&D kind of
And then
together. Yeah.
one of my friend's brothers played, and we got him to run us a couple times, but then he thought it was like really weird to be playing games with his big sister and her goofy friends, so that stopped. Then there was a club at school, and I tried to get in the club, and the guy said the club was full,
What?
which I feel was probably a lie.
Yeah.
And then so every few years I try to make
And
friends
now,
play it.
and who was that guy? He doesn't have to
I
name
don't
it.
know, but I hope
But
he
look at him
regrets
now.
his
Look
choices.
at the camera and say, you
Yep.
screwed up.
You could have
Yeah.
known
You could have had
quasi-famous miniature
That's
painter.
right.
Yes.
Quasi-famous.
Still probably playing with
Quasi-famous
unpainted
no one.
minis.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I went to college first time, so I partied and did all the
You
normal
went to
things
college
instead of the
multiple?
geek things. I did 2 years in one major, and then I quit for a year, and I went back for something else.
Okay.
And when I went back the second time, there was this amazing game club at our school, and I got
And they
in
let
this-
you in that one.
They made me the treasurer even.
Oh, okay.
That seems to be a common.
Actually, I think
common
they made me
theme.
the president at one point, but I wanted a card that said Queen of the Geeks instead of.
By the way, Rhonda's
President.
our D&D
Treasurer.
entering party treasurer too.
Yeah, I kind of get stuck with it, even though I too am terrible at math. But we didn't play with miniatures, so I played in this campaign for like 4 or 5 years, but we didn't
Bite
use
your
miniatures.
tongue, woman. Damn.
But when I was in the store
Wow.
one day, I saw this miniature and it was exactly like my character. Like I had the same haircut and had the same
Really?
outfit. This is Jewelry Guthrie miniature. I think it was for Ralph Partha. I should have brought that too.
Yeah.
I forgot. I'll bring it next time.
Well, if you knew you were coming down, we could have planned it. But since you just
yeah,
popped in
yeah,
out of the
I was
blue,
just
you never
stopping
know.
by on my
I
way
know.
somewhere
Yeah,
else, yeah.
just driving by.
So I'm like, well, I have to get this miniature because it's my character. And this other guy in the group painted little, so he painted it. And even then, this was like 1990, I think probably 1990
Okay.
or 89. And I'm like, well, how come you didn't paint the eyes? And he's like, well, you don't paint the eyes. You're wrong. You paint the eyes. So it
Even
was
if they
pretty
look
cool.
like he's shocked, right? They're
Hilarious.
just, you know, yeah.
So I
funny.
played for a few more years, and then eventually I ended up meeting a guy who I'm from Canada, and I met a guy who lives in America. So
You
I
don't
moved
have to
down
say
here.
that on the show.
Um,
We don't. Yeah.
And so after I moved down here, I'd been doing a hobby that was a lot of writing and a lot of thinking, and I'm like, I want to do something with my hands. And I'm like, but needlepoint and rug hook and that kind of stuff. Like, I don't want the crap at the end. Like, I don't mind the activity, but I don't want a bunch of ugly pillows in my house.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I'm like, what
fair
could I
enough.
do as a hobby? I'm like, miniature painting, because then if we start playing D&D again, we'll have characters and be cool. And if I give them away as presents and someone hates it, well, it's small, so you can just stick it in a drawer. It doesn't take up a lot of space
Yeah.
in your house.
Yeah.
So I went to the game store, and we had a really good game store in town, and they had all your learn to paint kits at the time. It was the black boxes.
The old black box
Yeah,
learn to paint
the old
kit.
black
Mhm.
box learn to paint kits with the pro paints in it. They had all the paints and all the miniatures separately too. But the kit was $25. And I'm like,
Ouch.
if I hate it, and then I spent $25, like that's a lot of
You
money.
can just write those idiots at Reaper a bad letter.
Yeah.
So what I did was I waited till we went to Gen Con, and they have paint and take at a lot of conventions, not just Gen Con. And they let you sit down and try it out and paint a miniature. And I'm like, okay, I painted in the lines, and this was pretty fun, so I want to do this. So I went and got that learn to paint kit, and now here I am,
And
There
here
we
you
go.
are.
writing some.
I think that's cool. You started off with a Learn to Paint kit,
Yep.
and now you're writing the Learn to Paint
Yep,
kits.
my very first complete miniature was one of the Anurian armsmen. Or,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, Nerian Guard.
Now,
yeah.
one of the
Yeah,
last
Mary
times,
Ingram.
several, you've been down here I don't know, several times, dozens. We sat in my office and watched on the TV a video of somebody using her Learn to Paint kit and literally reading it and following it the whole line. How did that make you feel?
That's pretty neat, actually. Sometimes I've read some of the Amazon. For the first 2 years, I didn't even occur to me to look for any of that
Oh,
stuff.
did anybody
I don't
was
know.
saying anything?
Yeah, I'm like, whatever. I guess people are buying it. And then someone's like, on Board Game Geek, there's this like thread about your Learn to Paint kit, and I'm like, what happens if you do a Google search? And I'm like, oh, holy crow, people are making
Actually doing
videos
it.
and writing reviews.
And he followed it just literally sentence by sentence, and he would do exactly as it was told. And at the end, he was just amazed. He's like, "Oh my God, look! I've done it." I've
And that was
completed
how
my
I
figure."
felt when I painted the first one. So it's like it had you paint the chainmail black, and then you dry brush bronze on it or something. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's magic! It looks like something, and that's the feeling that when something goes from just being no color to having color, and then you make the color have depth. That's the feeling that I really enjoy
Oh, good.
painting miniatures.
Yeah, they've done really well. Learn to Paint Kit 1 was the core skills, and Learn to Paint Kit 2 is
And for
layer
those of
up.
you that are not familiar with it, here's what we're. If you see this
I
in the
think I
store,
have
this is
that
what you're
one.
talking about. Did I just totally miss the camera?
No, you're in the camera, but you just literally covered Rhonda's head.
That's okay.
No, Rhonda.
I'm
we
just
go.
to learn to paint kit.
So there they are. There's
It's
the
cool.
core skills. There's layer up. Now you have.
I had the wrong side.
It's okay. So
But I love when I see people post one of the, and when they post the skeleton and the orc, I usually can't tell the difference between the one I did and
Is
what
exactly.
they post.
They
And I
painted
love
exactly
that.
that
I
way,
love
yeah.
seeing that.
now, misconception that people normally get is that you have to get core skills first, and you have to follow it up by layer up. True or false?
That is completely false.
Okay.
I wrote each kit assuming that you had no prior knowledge of anything.
Okay.
Now, if you were buying it for a younger person, I would start with core skills. It's a little simpler to follow. It's a little shorter
Okay.
instruction set. But you can start with
But an
layer
average.
up, no problem.
average
I
American.
actually learned to paint layers before I learned to do dry brushing and washing myself. So.
Okay. Okay.
And I still find dry brushing and washing hard and annoying.
Now, do you get questions from people who get to you on Facebook or just email you in general asking you, hey, I see the technique in this in the booklet, but I don't really understand what you're talking about. Do you get people asking you questions about that?
I get a few questions. I don't get specific questions as much as general hopes that Reaper will make more videos that demonstrate things, because there are certain things you can't explain well with just pictures and text. Or some people are visual learners and they would find it helpful to have.
Right. Well, it's
Visual
funny. It's
information.
funny we brought this up.
It's funny.
We did put together a little video showing some of these specific techniques. Before we get into that, I'm going to put my ogre guy up here and show you how shiny silver he is. Isn't he pretty? Do you want him in the middle or you want him on the edge?
Yeah, put them on this
Okay,
edge right here.
Right here. I'm trying to stay in the lines, but
Oh, good. No, you've made some very good progress. I like
Yep.
that.
don't look too close. Okay. So, what do you guys got on y'all's progress?
Go ahead.
I just started working on her pants. The blue is sticking.
Oops.
On her pants that are under the overskirt. Honestly, I don't know what any of the words for the armor and accoutrement
The
are.
clothes and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
The fun parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
And Ed?
in my game we could only afford studded leather, so I picked a pretty,
Right, no
pretty
kidding.
basic
Yeah,
miniature.
I know.
And the Tau figure, when he comes around, I'm just trying to start tying it together.
Yeah, I bought scale mail in our D&D game and about broke the
Oh,
bank.
you must have rolled
Yeah,
better than I
I
did.
must have rolled very high.
That's
I only had
That's
100 gold.
all I could carry.
And I was able to buy everything I needed inside of there. You need to
Okay.
learn to live within your means in the dungeon.
But I did buy the sheep.
Yeah. Well, you got a sheep?
I had 2 gold left over. I bought a sheep.
How much crap can a sheep carry?
The DM says
next set of
none, but I'm
clothes?
trying to convince him to get slots.
There's slots to a sheep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going
All
to be
right.
my pack sheep.
All right, so let's take a look at this video from your Learn to Paint kit. So, give us some of the examples that you shot in the video.
So one thing I wanted to show is how you load the brush to do dry brushing, and because a lot of dry brushing is actually getting a lot of the paint off of the brush. So how to tell if it's prepared and ready to go, and then how to use your brush on the miniature to work with the texture instead of working against it, so you get the paint up on the upper areas and not going into the crevices where
That
you
would
don't
sort of
want it to look
defeat
brighter.
that would defeat the purpose of dry brushing, is to get into the recesses.
Yeah.
Right.
It's trying
Okay.
to keep those dark, and that's where you want your wash to go.
Okay. Okay. What else we're going to take a look at here?
I think I did a similar thing for layer up with the different paint mixes and how to apply those.
Let's see. You did a little bit of layering, kind of a brief example on
I
sort
think.
of the.
I definitely showed, so in the layer up kit there's an example of how so people like to use the example of milk for dilutions, and I'm like, I don't paint with milk and dairy products, so I
You
don't
don't
find
have to
that
paint
very...
with it. You just have to go
Well,
put it in
I
a cup
don't know
and
what it
roll it
feels
around
like.
with water and do that. It gets...
Well, I came up with a different system.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Well, good.
So what I came up with is, if you have a piece of paper with text written on it, you can paint a paint stroke over the
yeah.
text is a way to test. So like
Oh,
for a
okay.
base coat, you want the paint to be as opaque as possible, so you only have to paint 1 or 2 coats.
Right.
So you'd want it to cover all the text, but not see any brush strokes in it. If you're layering, you kind of want to be able to see some of that text because you're trying to create a seamless transition. Then if you're doing a glaze, you want to see all the text and be able to read everything that's on the paper because you just want to tint what's underneath. So that's the method I've been using in classes and now in the paint
I
kits.
wish you were around when I was learning. That would have helped a lot.
I learned a lot from other people. I can't claim that I invented all of this, but just over the years of people, especially online, people asking, well, how do I know if it's the right consistency for a layer or for a glaze or whatever?
You can tell them to look at milk.
And I decided, I finally came up with a way that
To do
uses tools that you have commonly available, and you can be lactose intolerant and still use it.
Okay, so those are some of the examples. And like I said, we're going to take this video that's being shown on the screen right now, and we're going to break that out separately so that people can go and access that independently of this video. They don't have to fast forward to this video.
So if there are parts of the kit that are a little confusing, you can check the videos and
Yeah, and just see that
if that helps you
independently.
out.
Just see all that independently. And we'll put that up on our Reaper YouTube channel and on our Twitch channel, so people can take a look at that. Are there any other questions that people tend to ask you about the LTP case?
one thing I think people seem to get confused about is if there's duplication or what is exactly in each one. So when it was time to make the second one, what I was kind of thinking about is together they make one giant kit. Like if you know you're super into painting and you want to just get a set of paints and tools to get started, buying both of those is a great way to start.
Okay.
So there's no duplication of the types of brushes you get. There's no duplication in the colors that you get, and each of them covers separate techniques. So together they're kind of one monster kit, or you can just buy one to sort of try them out and get a feel for Reaper paints, see if you like them.
They make great gifts
They do make great gifts. A lot of people say they buy them for their kids or their
for birthdays,
friend that
for Christmas gifts, and Easter gifts and Halloween gifts, 4th of July gifts.
Because there's extra space in the case also
Not that
that
he
you
gets a
can
commission
carry
on these.
miniatures in, or if you're someone that you can't have a table set up like this all the time with your paint
Right.
stuff, you can pack it away in there. And
So, like you said, there are extra slots in the case, which conveniently would work to hold the expansion colors.
yes,
Now we've really announced the expansion colors yet, but what we're going to do in the spring of 2019, I don't know when people are watching this, but there is a Learn to Paint kit expansion for core skills,
yep,
and there's a Learn to Paint kit expansion for Layer Up.
yes.
And so there are 8 colors per box. Can you tell us more how that kind of came about?
So when I originally designed the kits, I really picked the colors out with the goal of painting the 3 miniatures that are in them. So neither of them is a complete set of colors. So, example, in core skills, there's no red, there's no orange. So there's no skin colors actually, because you paint an orc and a skeleton, and why would you need normal human skin colors? So we talked about it, and we thought, well, maybe it'd be a good idea to include some of those colors in a little set that if you didn't want to buy Layer Up, you could just buy this expansion set for the core skills, and you have all the basic colors you need to paint. And then the reverse is true for Layer Up, because that one has red and it has skin tones, but it doesn't have some of the colors that are in core skills. But now it will also have an expansion set of 8 colors that plugs those holes.
And then these colors are sort of enhance or sort of...
Yeah, it's like you can mix purple with red and blue, but there's a purple in each of the expansion sets so that you don't have to spend a lot of time.
But they're not the same shade of purple.
No, they're not the
Right.
same. One's kind of a red or purple, and one's a blue or purple.
Okay. And so so each one of these, it's a small sleeve like our Dungeon Dweller colors. It's a small sleeve of 8. Very similar
Like
to
this, but with 2 more.
Yeah, 2 more. So instead of a sleeve of 6, it's a sleeve of 8. They're not brand new colors like the Dungeon Dweller.
No.
They're existing Master Series
Yes.
paint colors, but they just allow you to sort of enhance the Learn to Paint kit.
And there's going to be an insert that will tell you how to use the skills from your paint kit to use those colors. So I've taken each color and painted something with it, and it uses one of the other paints to shade it, and then one of the other paints to highlight it.
So
So
each one
that's
of
an
the,
insert in the little paint set then?
Yeah.
Okay.
so like if you painted a color from the Learn to Paint kit itself, this color from the edition once you've got that, you can just put those colors in your paint kit box because
Yeah.
there's extra slots in there.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to keep the cardboard box and carry a whole bunch of stuff.
It's like magic.
It is.
It's like magic. And we also have another pack of 8 paints coming out in 2019. You want to spill the beans on that?
So the other pack of paints is a paint set that I put together of
We're calling it the artist palette.
Yeah, we're calling it the artist palette. So when I was designing mine, what I was thinking about is what are paints that I reach for time and time again because they're just so useful to me. So colors that I might use it to shade stone and non-metallic metal and this and that. The colors that are just really handy in my toolbox. So they're not necessarily my favorite colors or the prettiest colors in the Reaper paint line. They're just really
The ones
useful
you use.
tools.
These are your palette.
Kind of go-to colors.
And it includes information on why they're my favorite tools and how I use them.
All right, and we're going to do a set of artist palette colors for you. We're going to do a set of artist palette colors for Michael Proctor as well, and maybe some other artists that we haven't announced yet.
Like maybe me.
Maybe the Ed Pugh artist palette will be coming out. Maybe.
Well, and we all do use color very differently, so it's handy to get different people's point of view on what makes a color useful.
Right. So so look for that in 2019. Also in 2019, we're going to shoot for Learn to Paint kit number 3.
Yeah, we've been shooting for it a while.
We've been shooting for it for a while,
And
yeah.
then someone will say, I really need you to paint this thing super
Well,
fast.
things
Could you do
happen,
that?"
right? So paint
Yeah.
faster.
How long does it take you from Ron's phone call of I needed this yesterday to actually having it ready to go? What's the time frame on that?
It depends on what the item is and how much else I have going on in my regular
No,
life.
Learn to Paint kit.
Oh, a learn to paint kit. I think part of what the problem with 3 is it's
Just
switching
tell about
gears
what the
a
topic
little.
is on
So
number 3.
the topic's going to be painting skin, which is a little different. We're going to take the techniques we learned with the other kits and apply them to a specific effect. So
Okay.
the process for picking out colors is a little different. But what I did with the first 2 is I picked up the miniatures and then I took a shot at picking out 11 colors I thought I could get everything on those miniatures painted with. And then I sat down and painted each of them the way I would to see if it worked. And with both cases, there were 1 or 2 paints I ended up swapping out for whatever reason. They just didn't mix.
So that
as
part, the
well.
development process, how long does that take you?
That's probably gonna be a couple weeks because I'm having to take notes the whole
And go
time,
along?
so, especially for the first few sets because they literally are use 1 drop of this and 1 drop of this and 3 drops of water. So I have to stop. I have to be more methodical. Like we're just sitting here
Mechanical in your
painting, and it's
measurement,
like I don't know how much brown I put in
Right.
with this color to make that green, but I have to know if I'm going to tell you how to duplicate it. So I have to do it and take notes.
See your progress, Ed.
Then I have to paint them all again and
Well-
take pictures.
Uh-huh.
Here, I'll put them up.
I'm going for a
Bonk.
triple crown there. Start on third
Ooh,
one.
another mini. Not just the towel. It's a
And
skeleton.
then I think especially with layer up, since the process was a little more the skills were a little different, I painted them again following my instructions to make sure it did what I said it did.
So a couple weeks. Now, how long does it take you to type up everything?
I mean, all told, it's probably 3 to 4 weeks if I do
Really?
everything.
3 to 4
I mean,
weeks.
not necessarily full time 8 hours a day.
But it takes 6 months for us to get it done, Ron.
Is that where you're going with this?
I mean,
where I'm
I-
going with this.
Is that where you're
I'm
going
trying
with
to
this?
solve
It's
the
hard.
problem.
I don't always count the time. But
Thank you.
It takes a while.
It's
And-
not the amount of time it takes. It's the love that you put into it. That's
Yes.
what I like to say.
Yeah.
But
he says
and
that a
some of
lot.
the figures
A lot of
get
love.
done 2 or 3 times because
It's a lot of love.
if I forget to take the picture at that step of the painting, I have to paint all the way up to the part
that
I forgot
and
to take
go.
the picture and then go again. So I have 4 or 5 of the skeletons, I think, because I messed up. And because I have a full set of the guys at home too. I gave you the set that are actually photographed, but then I have
the
the
photograph
test
sets.
set for when I was testing if the colors worked.
Well, that's
that
good.
I kept those guys.
Let's
'cause-
move over to your award. She has won countless awards. When you're doing what you're going to start off and you've decided this is going to be an entry for whichever show you're going to attend, how long does it generally take you to get it developed, done, finished, and go?
Anywhere from 20 to 40 hours probably. I do not do complex spacing. If I'm doing complex spacing or complete like a scene and there's multiple figures, that could be even longer.
Just exponentially
I'm a
growing,
very
yeah.
slow painter.
Yeah.
So people who are slow painters, don't feel bad. Not everyone is a speed demon. I am trying to get a little faster.
Right, Ron. We're behind you.
Yeah, well,
My first minute, that guy from the Learn to Paint kit, the first guy, he took 8 or 10 hours, I think. I mean, that's a pretty basic guy. So,
Get him in mind.
yes, the skeleton, right?
okay. Back to that.
Where'd my sheet go? Grab him for a minute.
Now, I've also noticed that following you is that, but in a non-creepy way, you've really started to work heavily into 2D art, illustration.
Yes.
How's
And-
that coming? I mean, to me, I will go back and look at where you were starting and versus what you're producing now, and it's just an amazing night and day difference. What prompted you to go down that avenue?
I mean, I'd been interested in art for a long time. Actually, in high school, I won the art prize, which is sort of ludicrous, but because I wasn't that good.
And they still wouldn't
in
let you in the
school.
club, right, to play D&D? Even though you were the
Apparently, that didn't impress
artist? That
them.
didn't
Didn't
work.
impress
Okay.
Because they didn't use miniatures. This was long, long ago. So I'd been interested in art for a long time, and I think I bought a coloring book because adult coloring. Everyone was getting into coloring, and I did like 1.5 of those, and I'm like, I'd really rather draw my own thing than coloring somebody else's thing. So I'm like, why don't I just give that a shot? And it very much has been informed by my journey learning miniature painting. I'm trying to be much nicer to myself the second time, like just not expect everything to be perfect. It's okay if some days you're just doing it for fun. Like everything doesn't have to be award-winning awesome every time. You can learn things.
So the journey is what's important.
Yeah,
here.
the journey
Yes.
is what's important, but it is really helping my miniature art because our
Do you
figures
find
are
now
so
you're doing
small.
more freehand stuff on your...
A little bit more freehand, but it's more understanding the need for why we need such contrast in shading and highlighting. Because I mean, when it's a flat
'Cause
piece
you're
of
working,
paper,
yes.
you have to do it.
Do it all, yes.
And we steal so much. I mean, non-metallic metal that Ron said he was working on, except I think he changed his
I
mind.
changed my mind.
That if you go look at a painting of an armored knight,
Oh,
probably they didn't. I mean, they might
didn't
have
use
gold
the
leaf in a
silver paint.
medieval painting, but probably the cover of your fantasy book, the guy just used gray paint, right? So that's all non-metallic metal is.
Yep.
And we steal a ton from them. So learning to draw, you would think all it would be good for is freehand, but it's actually been very helpful for a lot of things.
Just all sorts of.
I recommend it, even if you don't like, you never want to show anybody, and you don't really want to be an artist. I recommend spending some time learning to draw. Take a course somewhere. There's Drawing on the Right Side of the Brain by Betty Edwards is a book that is really, it helps you see. And we always get all worried about brush skills, like how do you apply the paint, how do you do two brush blending, how do you
more
do
mechanics
layering,
of
and
it, yes.
what paint should you use and what brush should you buy, and all of that stuff does matter. But if you really want to paint something like, say, non-metallic metal, being able to look at something that's made of metal and say, okay, it's lighter here and it's darker there, and this is where the light is coming from, that's just as important or more important. Or being able to look at your miniature and say, oh, it doesn't look interesting, it doesn't look 3D, the colors are off. That's all about your artist's eye, and that is what you can improve a lot by studying regular art, 2D. I don't know. I never know what to call it.
Yeah, 2D art.
The old-fashioned original art.
So how many shows do you go to in a year? I know I see you at Adepticon.
ReaperCon. I don't do Gen Con anymore. It's just too crowded for me.
Yeah, it's just gotten really hard though, yeah.
It's too crowded. I haven't been to Origins yet. CMON Expo, I usually do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been asked to go to Cold Wars. I think there's
Historical show,
Pennsylvania. They do a historical show 3 times a year. And I think Cold Wars is the one that I'm going to. Oh, you should go to Atlanta Military Figure Society show, and that's a great show.
I've heard Doug's talked with me about that one. Yeah.
They have some amazing, and they're very friendly to fantasy, sci-fi, horror. They have a lot of guys who are painting that.
Isn't that amazing though that you can go to some of the historical shows and they're just not exactly very receptive of you? They almost want to like put you over in the, oh, you're one of those painters, we're going to put you over here.
I haven't been to one of those. I've been to
really?
Atlanta, and they were
Oh.
amazing. I mean, they gave me gold for my entire display 2 years.
They'd have probably invited you
And
to
they've
the gaming group.
been
too.
really nice talking to me, very welcoming. Like I went in 2012, and then I didn't go again until 2017, I think. And they remembered me. Like they had
Wow.
my name tag, and I'm like, and they actually remember talking to me. I'm like, wow, they were super friendly and nice. But even if you have a show that's kind of snarky, it's worth going to see what they do.
I do think though the snarky over the last decade, it's really just it's dropped. But in the old days,
They
it
know
was
they're
very-
old.
Yeah.
If they don't start being welcoming to the next generation and what people want to paint, there's not going to be any club. But they're being really friendly with. They have people. Liz Beckley is in Atlanta, and Sabrina Ferguson, and some other younger people that they're tutoring them and getting them the master's thing for their club, and they're great there. I recommend attending that show if you can.
So excluding Michael Proctor, which everybody, that's your immediate go-to. That's my favorite painter. Who would you say in the world you've admired their work?
Oh gosh, there are an awful lot of people. I mean, Kirill Kanev is just.
Kirill's one of my.
He
my
blows
tops.
me. Like every 2 or 3 months, he'll post something on Facebook. Like everything he posts is amazing, but it's like every 2 months he posts something where you're like,
It just
I
knocks
would
it up
never
a
have
level.
been
Yes.
thought that was possible to do with a
Did you see
miniature
his
and paint.
non-metallic medieval knight helmet?
And
it
you
almost
can
looks like
see
in
the
the picture you
reflection
want
of
to
the
see.
pine trees.
Yes.
I mean, it's like,
yeah.
and he looks at reference material. That's one of the reasons I'm saying like you got to build your artist's eye, because he looks at pictures of actors' skin with certain lighting. He probably had a picture of a helmet with some trees in it to paint that.
To paint, yeah.
But he's also able to do it in a way that is just like, holy, are you a human being? But I mean, Jen Haley is still one of my heroes.
Very
she was
good.
one of the people when I first started painting that was like, oh. Angela Emery was another one of those
She's-
people. Inga Myasin, I can't remember how to say her last name. She just went by Inga at the time. Ron Hawkins is my hero in so many ways, not
Yes,
just paint.
just amazing. Oh, and not just paint.
Not just paint. He's my lifestyle guru.
Good choice.
He may be my patience guru.
Oh,
A
now we gotta live
model
with
of
it.
how to be patient. He herds the cats,
Yep.
and we really don't make it easy.
Well, see here, Ron, on the table in front of us, we've got Bobby Jackson's High Rollers, which you painted.
Yes, I did.
Did you have fun painting those?
I did have fun. They have so much character.
They're
just
very cool.
hilarious figures.
They're very cool. Aside from
I mean,
these
your
guys,
deadline wasn't fun.
Well, deadlines are never fun. Aside from these guys, what are some of the pieces from Bones 4 that you either had fun painting or are looking forward to painting?
The other set that I really had a ton of fun painting were the Rocky the Dragons.
From Gene Van Horn.
Yeah, they're also
Oh, yeah. Okay.
they're adorable, but they're also a little scary, and they just had great poses. Each of them's doing something a little more unique that really give him. I mean, it's the same dragon. He's just doing different things. So they're all Rocky the Dragon, and he's doing different fun things. And I had a lot of fun painting.
You had a little help in sort of pushing that one along, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did.
That's the first miniature I ever got to consult on.
That's right.
Kind of the development of, which was also very
Rhonda
fun.
Bender, miniature consultant.
And make them special to me.
Yeah, they were very cute. They turned out really, really good.
I kept those ones. I normally give Ron the things I paint for Ron, but
They turned out really, really good.
he didn't get the Ron.
Anything else you're interested in looking forward to?
Well, there's an Afridi and a genie, and I hadn't seen them in person. I was excited about seeing them on the Kickstarter, because I follow the Kickstarter like everybody else.
Yeah.
I get excited when stretch goals happen and
How
stuff.
convenient you would bring
I
those
know.
two miniatures.
But when I saw them in person,
my
I
goodness,
was like,
I just happen to have those guys right
So
here.
let's let everybody else see them in person, because
Okay,
they're so
all
much
right.
bigger than you think they are.
They're
super cool.
These are by Bobby Jackson, and they are
Yeah, let's get rid of him.
okay. Get rid of that guy. They are stupid cool, is what they are.
Yeah,
Scoot that sheet over. Okay, there's the Efreet, and Izzy Collier designed these, and Bobby
Yeah, her
Jackson
concept
sculpted
art
those.
was amazing.
Yeah, those are really good. Those are great.
So I was excited when I saw the concept art, and then when I saw the sculpt, the design. But seeing them in person, it's like,
these are actual first shots from
From the
our
tooling.
manufacturer. Mhm.
Yeah.
So these aren't resin castings. These are actual injection
Yeah,
molded
this is the
pieces. These are
production
what you're
molds.
going to get when you get these, or if you've already got them.
and they look terrific. If you've already, you're
Yeah,
expecting this to air. in
someone may be
20
watching this in 2020 for all I
yeah,
know.
okay.
Yeah, who
Well, that's
knows?
true.
So, but yeah,
YouTube is forever.
those are pretty good. Those are pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I really like those.
Yeah, those turned out really, really well. Justin, what are you doing over there?
Well, I just got a question in that I think is really weird, but I
Really?
think it's
Weird question on
odd.
this show?
It's humorous. I've been chuckling. I had to have my mic off
Okay,
because it's
all right.
kind of funny. But I figured, you know what?
Who's it from?
We weren't really going to do any questions for this
Yeah.
for this episode, but I think this one's worthy of just bringing up right now.
Who is it from?
Well, someone by the username of Gone Broke 61.
Not that guy again. Not that guy again.
Okay.
We're not. I'm going to pre-answer the question by saying we're not going to answer this question.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's going to ask, but we're not going to answer this.
Well, I mean, it's pretty
Fine.
hard hitting. It's
Fine.
irrelevant.
It's pretty
If it's
hard.
very
It's
relevant
completely relevant to what we're talking about right now.
Okay.
Okay, you guys ready?
Sure.
today. Yeah, sure.
It says that he was on Facebook, and he said that if he's born April of 1961, his superhero name would be, and I quote, Amazing Wood. Is that true?
What the hell?
He wants to know if the Facebook graphic that he is both relating and spending time looking at on Facebook is accurate to his superhero name.
I can't do this show anymore. This is. I'm out of here. I gotta go.
Yeah.
What?
sure.
No. What? What does that even mean?
Guys, I feel like you're dodging the question right now. This is a debate that I'm
I
over.
missing-
I think,
Am I
really,
missing
honestly,
something?
I'm moderating
honestly,
this.
I mean, if that's
Listen.
what it told you that yours your name,
I don't
you
get
should
it.
embrace that.
I don't understand.
Walking around, introducing yourself. Hello, my name is Amazing.
How would you
Amazing
get that
Wood.
name? I don't
Ron,
understand.
when you started
Those
campaigning to
Facebook,
be on this show,
things. In fact, too, which Wizard of Oz character are you? And you answer these questions, and in his case, it would be the Scarecrow. But you do those things.
I
You
don't-
know what I'm talking
That's stupid. That's so stupid. Why
Hey.
would I mean? What kind of? Is there a superhero who's got a wood in his name somewhere?
it's him. He is Amazing Wood.
Okay. All right. Yeah, Facebook is. That's correct. Yes, your name is Amazing Wood. Next
Could you
time I see
please,
you,
please cite your
I mean, think about it.
cite your
Think
sources?
about
How
it.
would you know this is correct?
Scary Spice. If you met Scary Spice with that name, you're not thinking you and a cheap
Well,
bottle were having fun.
you know what? It would be a lot more appropriate, Amazing Wood, if someone said, "What is your Spice Girl name?" and you were born in whatever, and then it came out Amazing
that
Wood
would be
instead of Scary Spice.
April of 1961.
I guess I'll be Lethargic Salt. I guess that'll be my name. I don't know.
Were you born in April of 1961? Because
if you are,
No.
you're Amazing Wood.
No, I wasn't.
Wood.
I was not. I was not. So whatever.
Hey,
yeah, sure.
I give it a thumbs up. I'll do that.
Don't encourage broke back mountain 1960, whatever his name is.
Gone broke 61.
Gone broke 61. I
At least
invite
he's
you.
coming to us looking for advice.
All right,
You should
listen.
maybe
I guess you know what.
consider-
I guess I should be happy with the fact that
Somebody's watching.
he's actually watching the show, right? So
Yes.
okay, fine. Yes. All right. Well, it's time to let these minis dry. Let's go ahead and set these
We don't
guys
have
down.
more
You can-
questions?
That's it, right?
No, actually, you know what? I have
That's
an idea.
enough. I don't think we need any more questions
Why
after
don't you
that.
send us-
Maybe he'd send us a twofer. Who knows?
Yeah.
Why don't you send us off into the weekend
Okay.
lethargic salt?
Right. So, besides Gone Broke 61, if you have any questions, please send your questions to reaperlive at reaperlive.com. Right here. Right? It is right here. Right?
Yes, and please address them to lethargic salt.
No, just don't do that. So, and don't send us your Spice Girls names. Make sure to keep up with Rhonda, you can kind of stop for a second and look
Oh,
at the
okay.
camera and just sort of join us in our goodbyes
You're always
here.
yelling me to paint. I don't understand a world where that isn't true.
Make sure to keep up with us. All the news and latest information at www.reapermini.com.
All our social media, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram. Just get there, have fun. Y'all are doing a great job.
Rhonda, if we want to see more of your painted stuff, how do we do that?
I have a website at www.birdwithabrush.com.
Okay, right here.
And so it'll link you to my Facebook gallery, but also I've been trying to post information, paint tips, just general how to paint better, philosophical discussions, exchanging
Cool.
knowledge,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
All right, and like I said, we have that address up the top. Again, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Well,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
popping
having me.
in.
Yeah, it's these. I got to get in the car and drive somewhere now.
All right, well, good. Be safe going back.
We'll find you
okay?
randomly going around in the parking lot. Oh, go get Rhonda. It's time for another show.
All right, well, see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Are you going to tell us what your superhero name is?
Know you next week.
All right. We'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Get ready. I'm about to go. We're ready to go. Wait on you, Rhonda.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, this week on Reaper Live, we have a special guest.
That's my one.
Here we go. Every time, every
Sorry.
stinking time. Hi, this week on Reaper Live, we have a special guest.
Rhonda Bender.
Hi.
This week? Oh, that's stupid. That's really retarded.
Is this the hardest part for you?
This in the end.
Yeah.
They get shot over and over.
Okay.
He sounds super excited about that.
Okay. All right. Ready?
Sure.
4.
Where am I supposed to put my hands?
Anywhere you
Anywhere
want.
you want
Anywhere
to. You can keep doing that if you want to.
Like from Talladega Nights.